I just got done listening to Pet Sounds while playing Minecraft with my chat here, and I've got to be completely honest, this album's pretty fucking peak. This album explores themes of depression, loneliness, insecurity, overcoming, and just a general feeling of being in a mental rut in a way that no other 60s album, I feel, is able to, with the amount of depth that this album goes into it with the amount of emotion that is on display here. It is literally second to none, in my opinion, in terms of how emotional it is in comparison to other 60s albums. There is just something about Brian Wilson's lyricism here that is just so tangible, so relatable, so simplistic yet impactful, that it all comes together to create this absolutely devastating, but also, at points, surprisingly optimistic and very, very, very emotionally impactful listen. Be it the beautiful imagery that is on display to put across these emotions, like the imagery of someone being on a ship, getting homesick, sort of talking about someone being out drifting away from somebody else and using that as a metaphor for drifting away from someone in a romantic sense. Or when he gets as blunt as to say a line like, "Sometimes I feel very sad." This album is so beautifully able to go from grand, gorgeous imagery to just such blunt, biting lyricism, sometimes within even the same track, and I think that the ability to balance those different aspects, those different explorations of these emotions is just absolutely fucking stunning. Not to mention just how beautiful the soundscapes and instrumentals on this album are. It really feels like a time capsule of the 60s, with a lot of these sounds obviously being very of the time, so a lot of them feeling very dated, but in a way that is more so charming than it is making the album feel old or, you know, like it hasn't aged all that well. All of these session musicians brought in across this album do an absolutely fucking incredible job, be it the very nice, tinny, loose bass lines, or the absolutely fucking stunning percussive elements on this album, or the shakers, or the drums being panned in interesting directions and recorded to absolute perfection. This album is just such an instrumental treat and was fascinating to dive in on that front, as well as the lyrics. And on top of that, I really appreciate how brief and easy of a listen this is. It's 37 minutes, does not overstay its welcome. All of these songs are just in and out, get their message across, punch you in the gut emotionally, and then they're done. That's all the album needs to do. That's all the album really feels like it requires to be as impactful and as important of a listen as it is, in my opinion. Yeah, this album's pretty fucking peak. I'm feeling a 9.8 out of 10 on this one. It's grown on me since my first reaction, which you should watch, by the way. Yeah, good ass album.